in this tutorial video, I'm going to show you how to properly set up labels for metallic substrate printing. For this tutorial, I'm going to assume that all the blue and your background pattern you want metallic, okay? So let's get started. One thing I noticed right off the bat that you want to avoid at all costs is your background pattern here has a 30% opacity. So let's take a closer look at this background pattern. I'm going to click into it here. If I keep clicking it, okay, there we go. See, it's at a 30%. So this needs to be at 100%. Okay. Okay, so we're at 100% now. Clearly that's not the shade of gray you were looking for. It's a little bright. But instead of changing the opacity to get to the right shade, you actually need to change the actual color. So I'm going to click back into this guy right here. Okay, so instead of changing the opacity to get to the gray, you actually need to change the color. So that's a little bright at 90% black, so let's try 97%. 96%? Yeah. That looks close enough. Anyway, moving on. Okay, so now that you know that you can't have a metallic or a transparency in metallic substrate printing. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we're going to set up the white ink layer. Okay, so in metallic substrate printing, anything that is not metallic actually will have white ink printed on top of the silver paper, and then your artwork will get printed on top of the new white ink layer that it just printed. Okay, so we need to set that white ink up. It's easy. Okay, so we need, in metallic substrate printing, you can use any color except for white to represent white ink, okay? And what we here at Your Box Solution use is the color 100% magenta. So I'm going to go ahead and select this outer border of your artwork right here. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it right there in the same spot. So I have this little thing. Let's give it a little solid color, okay. Let's change this color to 100% magenta. Okay, so there's our white ink, but the printing press doesn't know, still sees it as the color magenta. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Window and open up this swatch window, which I already have open, but if you don't have it, that's how you open it. And it's right here, swatches. And then I'm going to drag this color over into here. It creates this little box right here, okay? I'm going to double click on this box and name it white with a capital W. That's very important. That tells our printing press that this is not magenta, that it's going to see this, and it's going to use white ink. We also want to change it to a spot color. So white with a capital W and spot color. All right. So now anything using this color swatch right here named white is actually going to be white ink. I'm going to open up the layers over here because we actually want the white ink to be behind everything else. So I just moved it behind everything else. Okay. So now that that's there, I'm going to hit Control A to select all my artwork, and then I'm going to go to Window and I'm going to open up Attributes right here. Okay. It's going to open up this little tiny window called Attributes. I'm going to make sure you have everything in your art selected. And I'm going to turn overprints on for everything. What we just told the artwork in the press to do is it's going to print all this that we have selected on top of that white ink that we made. Now, not everything, of course, we want to print on the white ink. We want some things to print directly on the metallic paperboard. Okay? So anything that is not going to be metallic, or yeah, anything that is metallic, anything that is metallic, like this blue here, I'm going to turn overprints off. Okay, so now it's not going to print on the white ink. It's going to knock everything out and print directly on the silver board, giving you a blue metallic look. Okay. The next, oh, it looks like we have this little border here too. which is a stroke actually. So I'm going to remove this stroke real quick from this box. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to turn overprints off on this little blue border too. So that's going to print metallic too. Your silver pattern background, I just select the whole thing. I used a select same fill color to do that. Select same fill color. Okay, I have all the patterns selected now. We're going to turn overprints off. Okay, so now everything is properly set up. Oh, wait. Yeah, everything is properly set up for the metallic substrate printing. The white ink, actually, I'm going to select the white ink swatch, and it needs to have overprints off, actually. So anything that is metallic or white ink needs to have overprints off. Okay? Now, earlier I told you we can use any color to represent white except for white in this style of printing, and that's because when a printing press sees the color white, it's assuming you're printing on white paper, so it doesn't actually print anything there when it sees the color white. So in metallic substrate printing, anything that actually is the color white is actually going to print silver metallic, like a pure silver, because it's not going to print anything there. Well, we actually want these to be white, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the select same fill color again to select everything that is that white color, and we're going to change it to our white ink swatch color over here. Okay. And make sure overprints on everything that was the white ink is also off. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. So now we have a properly set up label where your pattern and the blue on your label is going to print metallic and everything else is not. I hope this helps you. You're more than welcome to message me if you have further questions. And have a good day.